This is Chris Kelly with the first installment of our goal setting lesson, what I call cost-effective goal setting. All right, when I say cost-effective goal setting, probably the number one thing that I see with new people coming into my gym is they'll come in and they'll say, I'm like, what do you want to, what do you want to achieve? Why are we here? And they'll say, I want to lose some fat, I want to get stronger, I want to tone here and here, and just pretty much goals that are all over the place. They might be running, they might be doing certain activities, but they don't really understand why. So one of the big reasons that I feel like people come to a personal trainer, or you come to me, or the reason that you're watching this video is because the first thing that we want to do is like get very specific, okay? If you don't understand exactly where you're going, like what you're doing, if you have a general goal in mind but it's not really focused, then that's the only result that you can expect. It's just kind of like mixing things together. I guess with, a colleague of mine calls that shit soup, because what happens is we throw a bunch of stuff in together and we don't get the most out of what we're trying to do because we try to combine things that really don't go together. So my challenge for you with this lesson is just to figure out, exactly what you want. Okay, when we're talking about like goals, we're talking about what is important, what is maybe not so important. There are a couple keys that really kind of tick the boxes for me. All right, I'm just going to go over these real quick. All right, the first kind of key for me is time sensitive. Okay, in the beginning, when we say, okay, I want to lose fat, I want to lose 30 pounds, we just say that and we start going. A lot of people burn out like in the first month, in the first 2 weeks, because they just max out their willpower. I mean, literally, you work really hard for like several weeks or whatever it is, and then you're like, screw it, this is really hard, I don't want to do it anymore. So the first thing that we want to think about doing is putting a time limit on it. All right, when I say time sensitive, studies have shown that anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, generally for the body, is the best period of time to kind of focus our goals. All right, we call these at our gym mini surges. Okay, and so with mini surges, we say, all right, I want to lose weight, I know that, okay, and I want to make a really concerted effort to do that. So I'm going to take 2 weeks and hit it really hard. My belief is that like over 2 weeks, you can stick to anything, you can do anything, you can endure anything, because it's like a pretty short period of time. All right, after that 2 weeks, take a little bit of break, relax, go back to not your former habits, but you kind of take a little bit of time off, and then you say, all right, I've taken my time off, kind of rebuilt my mental capacity. I'm going to hit this again for another 2 weeks. So it's like we focus intently for 2 weeks, we go off, we do it again. Generally that works anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. As we go along, as you kind of hit these little blocks, you build willpower, you can go for a little bit longer and a little bit longer. The interesting thing is that's also how we run our fitness program. So if you have a pressing goal, if you have like maybe 50 pounds to lose, break it up into 2 week cycles where you really hit it hard, and you're focusing intently on that, and you can wrap your mind around it, versus doing it over a very long, spread out period of time where you kind of half-ass it. Okay, so that's number one, time sensitive. We want to put a number on how long that we're like focusing on this thing. Number two, my big thing is friend supported. Okay, the other thing is people will come to me and they'll say, the reason I've come to a personal trainer is that I want social support. They don't say social support, they say, I want somebody to talk to. I need accountability. The problem is that they're accountable to me for maybe 60 minutes twice a week or 3 times a week or whatever it is, okay? That disconnect doesn't work. We say there's 23 hours in a day to screw things up, and usually that's what happens. So these people come to me with their nutrition log, and I'm like, oh great, you ate well until you came to me, and then you get some ice cream about 9 p.m., which I see a lot, by the way, don't do that. But my point with that is that we need to make sure that activities are friend supported, okay, number two. It needs to be some sort of a group thing where your friends are around you, they're doing it with you, like a boot camp where we say, if everybody's doing burpees, if everybody's getting their butt kicked, and everybody's really sore, they hate it, and they talk crap about it afterwards, you can share that experience with people, and you build that like motivation to keep going, to do it again. And then if there's some kind of a disconnect, you have people to talk to about it, because we all make mistakes, you know what I mean? And I think that's the key. But like with whatever you're doing, say you have a weight loss goal, let the mechanism of that goal be, say, running, where you're running with a group, or be, a team activity or a fitness class. something where you're around people that support you, that you can, eat with afterwards, that you can talk to about it, you can call up, and that's huge. And that's one thing where posting in our forum is useful because you see what other people are doing and you can kind of draw, perspective and support from that, okay? So make sure that whatever you're using to kind of achieve your goal is friend support. There are other people doing it too, because you just coming to a trainer puts a lot of pressure on that trainer, and I guarantee if he has more than one client or they have more than one client, that's going to be a difficult sell for them to be calling you all the time and all of that. The number three, my most important, is relevance. Okay, when I say relevance, if I were to say to you, you came to me and you wanted to say lose weight, now we're like, okay, go join a bowling league. You think, well, wait, what does bowling really have to do with weight loss? So to me, the biggest thing of everything is making sure that whatever you're using, whatever mechanism that you're using, be it strength training, running, whatever it is, that it is relevant to what your interests actually are. You have to enjoy it on some level to keep doing it, okay? And, maybe tying the goal in with some sort of performance goal as well helps. A good example of that is, if you train, you get in really, really good shape. Studies have shown that fit people, burn body fat better. They're in better shape, they're leaner. So if you get in better shape for that 5K or your strength numbers go up, then you're going to naturally be in better shape. But it's an idea that, okay, I want to improve my 5K time, not, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. I mean, those two things work together. But if you achieve your performance goal, usually you're going to achieve your body composition goal as well. So that's key right there. So just a couple of short-term examples of what I'm talking about. Generally with goals, okay, we have two types of goals. We have what I call aesthetic goals, which are like, I want to fit into a dress, I want to lose X number of body fat, whatever. And we have performance goals, which are reduce your 5K time, okay? And those two things, I mean, those are both great goals, but I just want you to think, don't be so dependent on one or the other, and also consider that they work together. If you improve your 5K time, generally your body fat is going to go down. So an example of an appearance goal would be 2 to 4 pounds of body fat lost or 5 to 3 inches lost. Okay, that's also a realistic short-term goal. Okay, you're not going to lose 20 pounds in 30 days. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? But you could lose 2 to 4% body fat, or you could lose 1.5 to 3 inches. Okay, so be realistic with what you're trying to do. Another short-term goal from a performance standpoint would be to reduce your 5K time. Okay, that's a good one that a lot of people use. I know we have a lot of runners. And then our third goal would be to win a softball tournament. Okay, say you're playing team softball. You set that out with your team. And I think that is like a group activity that's powerful because you'll get in better shape because you're working hard with a lot of people. But the key with all of these things is that they are short-term. Okay, they're realistic over 30 days for that 2 to 4 week block that we talked about. We're not going to set these unrealistic goals to where you're setting yourself up for failure. If you say, I want to lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks, you're going to fail and you're going to feel like crap. Okay, so what I want you to think about doing is what can we achieve in 30 days? What can you realistically wrap your mind around with your schedule, with your family life, with everything else? And I think that that's the key. Okay, so I'm just going to key in real quick on these and we'll finish up here. All right, but just in looking at this, okay, so these are my keys. Once again, we want to make sure things are time sensitive. Okay, so we've got a 2 to 4 week window here. Okay, and that's where we're not at all. We're being really intent on what we're doing. You're not half-assing anything. And even if it begins with 3 days, I mean, these things build. It's whatever you can wrap your mind around. So commit yourself to that period of time. I feel like that's really important. And just think, like, how long can I realistically do without a break? And we set it up that way. Number 2 is friend supported. Okay. Are your friends doing this activity with you? Okay. Can you work out with somebody? Okay. That is huge. Number 3, relevance. Okay, do you actually enjoy this activity on some level? Is it something that you can do long term and actually, sustain after you've achieved your initial, weight loss or body composition goal? And all of those 3 things work together. All right, and then when we're looking at goals, I want you to think about setting realistic short-term goals. All right, you need to just sit down and think, what is realistic over 30 days? Okay, if you really push it, you know, if you do maybe this 2 to 4 week situation, what can realistically be achieved? To me, this is kind of the big rocks here. 2 to 4% body fat, 1.5 to 3 inches. I see those changes a lot when people really dial in the diet. The reduction of 5K time, you can gain a lot. You can improve your aerobic endurance a lot in 30 days. And then winning a softball tourney. I train a lot of softball players, so I get this a lot. But the point being is that this can apply to any kind of team activity or, you know, challenge that you set forth with your, you know, with other people. But the key is that it is with other people, all right? And that is what is going to allow you to be successful. So kind of look these over, time sensitive, friend supported, relevant, and then our short-term goals, okay? And just think, what can my short-term goal be? What do I want to achieve, right? And then how do I break that down into a little manageable block that I can wrap my head around? You know, we just do that until the long-term goal is supported. If your goal checks all of these boxes, then I think you're going to be pretty successful. And that concludes our lesson of the week.